Hello, everyone. I'm JT DeSocio. You're here on CogoCast, the Real Estate Investors Podcast, where we discuss all things real estate investing, from fixing and flipping to brokering to lien abatement to all of the ways that you can make money as an entrepreneur in the arena of real estate investing. We're here. We started out on our first episode with Lee Arnold, the CEO of Secured Investment Corp, and the Lee Arnold system of real estate investing. We managed to bag the guy down, and we tied him up and we brought him in here. So we're here on our second podcast here, where we're going to detail a little bit of the history and the timeline of the company. In the first episode, we discussed where you started, how it kind of began, and we kind of jumped around a little bit. Yep. But we actually have some visual stimulus here, Peter, right? Don't we have some pictures of where kind of the history of your... All right, so let's get into this here. Now, you mentioned 1996, correct?
Yeah. So in 1996, I go to my first real estate investment seminar, and I start investing. And at this time, I'm doing it predominantly out of my home office.
Okay.
So didn't have an office or anything else. From the Northwest, I moved to Florida. Now I'm traveling all over the country doing real estate investment seminars. I meet my wife in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
And then we have several different shared offices. And then we come to this office. And this was our office address on Pinemont. This is in Murray, Utah.
Murray, Utah.
Yeah. And out of this office, we grow a real estate brokerage. I've got 65 agents that are working for us here. And we're doing very, very well, doing a lot of short sale revenue type deals. But then in 2008, as you know, the market shifts. And we went from a staff of almost 80 people down to a staff of 2, 4, 6, 7 people. So 2008 was an incredibly trying time, and I learned a lot through 2008. And in 2009 now, my in-laws have decided they're going to move down to Las Vegas. My wife and I have 3 small children.
Right.
And we are living in Salt Lake City. So we decide, and here's Jaclyn. This is when the twins are 18 months. So on the left here, this is Andrea right here.
Okay.
And this is her twin brother, Preston. She is older, and she will never miss an opportunity to tell you that. And then this is Harrison, and he is 14 months younger than the twins. You can see how tired Jaclyn is just with what's been going on. Yeah. So this is the kids, and Grandma and Grandpa in Salt Lake City have now moved away. So we're like, hey, you know what? As a result of the market crashing in 8 and 9, we're kind of in restart mode anyway. So we decided to move up here to the Pacific Northwest. And this is us now. This is several years ago. And this is now the twins and Harrison. Preston is a devout Broncos fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, that does not look like a Seahawks.
And Harrison is a devout Seahawks fan. So I'm clearly Switzerland in this photo because I can't choose who I'm going to represent. But we are at the Seahawks Stadium. This is CenturyLink Field. This is the Mecca of Seahawk fans.
Yes.
And I was a little concerned about being there with my son in this Broncos shirt, but I got to tell you, he got a lot of credit and praise.
I was going to say, it's
for
a brave kid.
Going against the grain.
Seriously.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. But we moved up here and started doing some creative marketing ideas. So this is now pushing.
Let's talk about this.
So this is an alter ego that we created years ago called Levis. And this is back in this is 2009, 2010, when the term funny as money is coined. So from a marketing standpoint, funny as money.
Okay.
So we're playing
this
off
wasn't just a joke that you were like, let's really try this, actually.
No,
folks.
we ran with us. We spent tens of thousands of dollars on this Levis campaign. And it did us well. From Levis, we got to meet some pretty cool people. So
Jay Leno.
This is me with Jay Leno. From there, I got to hang out with Gene Simmons.
Oh, yeah, Gene Simmons.
Frontman for Kiss. Gene Simmons is a cool guy and a big guy. I didn't realize, because I'm about 6'2", Gene's 6'4", and he's kind of hunched over in this photo for the picture.
Right.
But he's a big guy.
He's a really big guy.
And the thing I love about Gene is when you shake his hands, he'll give you one of these and he'll say, "You're a very powerful and handsome man." So that's what I got from Gene Simmons. This is Terry Fader. This is right after he had won America's Got Talent.
Okay.
And Terry Fader is the ventriloquist with all the puppets. He's got the little turtle puppet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool guy, nice man. And then this, of course, this is George Ross. And this is going back 2005, 2006. If you remember the early episodes of The Apprentice with Donald Trump.
That's right.
This is his grumpy lawyer.
He's the grumpy lawyer.
Screen left,
Yes.
Trump's right. But I met George Ross at a conference years ago, and I was having lunch with him. And I'll never forget this because George Ross asked me, he said, "So Lee, what is it you do?" And I said, "Well, I teach people how to invest in real estate and I give them the money to do it." And he goes, "Invest in real estate." He said, "I've met more people that have lost millions in real estate than have ever made millions in real estate."
Right.
Now, this is Trump's attorney.
Right.
Trump's made billions in real estate. And his attorney is saying, avoid real estate. And so I asked George, I said, "Well, George, if what you're saying is true," I said, "what's the fatal flaw? Why do you know more people that have lost millions in real estate than you've met?"
Right.
And this is what he said. He said, they buy rental property too early. They buy rental property too early because it's really easy to find a motivated seller who's got a duplex that hates their tenants and just wants out.
Right.
So they're literally hand over the keys. No money down, nothing.
Okay.
So all these no money down programs that you've seen, that's so easy. Anybody can do this. Problem is, when you buy real estate with no money, when something goes wrong, you don't have any money. So the boiler breaks, like Carol in episode 1.
Right.
Your furnace goes out, the roof is leaking, you don't have any money. So you ultimately end up in foreclosure because you don't have enough liquidity to fund problems.
So the banks are going to win at the end anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's why for our clients, one of our key initiatives is goal number 1 for every single one of our customers is to get you to a point where you got $250,000 in cash.
Right.
Until you have $250,000 in cash, you don't buy rentals. That's a rule. Okay. So after meeting Trump's attorney, of course, I became a Trump fan. This is my wife and I. This is at the church potluck where I dressed as, Trump, and my wife is, of course, Miss America, although she's much better looking than Miss America.
Oh.
And then this is our first office building when we moved up here to the Pacific Northwest. This is an old abandoned outlet center, that Amazon killed the outlet stores.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess
that's
internet
right.
killed the outlet stores.
Internet killed the outlet
But when
shops.
we moved up here, 2009, with just a staff of 7, we didn't need a lot of space. So we started growing the company in here. So 2010, this is our staff. What do we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
So it grew
We've
from
gone
the bad
from
times.
7 to 10.
Okay.
So this is 2010, and things are progressing, things are growing. Now we start getting some steam as to what it is we're doing. Cogo Capital has now been formed. Secured Investment Corp has now been formed.
Okay.
We're doing a lot more loans. We're getting ready to launch Fund 1.
People have climbed out of the scare of what happened back in 07, and they're starting to kind of trust and make moves again in terms of real estate.
So we're picking up some steam,
Okay.
and I get asked to be a guest on what's called Invest Northwest, which is a Sunday morning 30-minute show on companies that are doing cool things in the Pacific Northwest. And so this is Sean Owsley, the host, and he featured us. And from this, we got a lot of exposure, and that caused us to grow even more. So this is now a year later. Now we are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now we're 20 people from 10. So we've doubled in size just in that
kind
year.
of picking back up out of the ashes.
So we needed a bigger office. So we move into this office.
That's a nice size office.
We move into this office, and believe it or not, we outgrew this office. We had a space over here. Actually, our office was right here. We had this nice outdoor patio. But even here, we only had about 3,000 square feet. So when you've got 25 people and 3,000 square feet, it gets a little...
You got to give them a little space.
So we went and we got this office. So this now became a 10,000 square foot office where we started adding more people. Now understand that at this point, let's see, this is 2012 or 2013. And now we are almost up to 35 or 40 people at this point. Now, what do we need 35 and 40 people for?
Right.
Okay. One, we're generating hundreds of leads every day of people who need funding. We're generating hundreds of leads every day of people who want to lend money.
Right.
And we need people to kind of manage this
Got to feed the arms. Right.
Yeah. And so as the company began to grow and scale, we got even bigger, and then we got bigger. And what's driving this now is we are doing real estate investment seminars nationwide. As you mentioned, our funding tour. So everything starts with a funding tour, fundingtour.com. People go from a funding tour to our certification events, to our master programs.
Kind of similar how you began.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't have great things to say about the seminar business. And I get it. People that are watching this, they've been burned. They spent thousands of dollars.
Spend all this money and
that guru.
You walk away with a book.
And then everything to show for it.
Right.
And I'm going to talk about this in episode 3, which is called our Circle of Wealth, where it's our new students coming into the system that are being funded by the students that were in the system last year, the year before last, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Fascinating.
Because as these people here go through our process and begin making money,
right,
and they get to that first threshold of $250,000 in cash, and then they go to tier 2, which is the $1 million in accreditation net worth, these now borrowers become future lenders.
Ah.
And so the system just self-propels itself.
So it just keeps
which
repeating,
is
and everybody makes out.
incredibly-
Everybody wins, like
yep.
we talked about before.
Incredibly rewarding.
And we're back here with CogoCast, the Real Estate Investors Podcast. We're talking funding tours. We're here with CEO Lee Arnold. He's discussing how what he evolved his company into is the seminar business, into how you can learn to get into this game of real estate investing, brokering, fix and flip, so on. So this is a picture from a funding tour here that you were involved in.
Yeah, you can see I'm right here.
Yep.
And we have about 125 people at this particular event. I believe we were in Indianapolis. And, I love going out and teaching seminars. I love meeting people. I love seeing the enthusiasm about real estate investing.
But why the seminar? All right. So if real estate kind of got this dark cloud in 07 and you kind of came out of it, you were making money, people, short sale. But then it started to kind of turn around a little bit. Why go into the seminar space? Why is it that you wanted other people to get involved with this?
Well, and keep in mind, I've been in the seminar space since 2001. So when the market crashed, I'd been in the seminar space 7 years.
Right.
So as the market is crashing, it's not that the seminar space is no longer necessary. It's that we got to change what we're teaching and how we're teaching it.
Okay.
And at this particular training you're seeing, we're teaching people how to buy property at below market value and then use Cogo Capital financing to buy it and fix it. So for students that come to our training, we will lend them the money to buy the property, we'll lend them the money to rehab the property, and they keep 100% of the profit. So
right.
Where when I partnered with Brent and I had to give him half of my profit,
right.
Cogo Capital, yeah, we charge fees and we have interest on our loans, but you keep 100% of your profit.
And most of these people that attend these for the first time, they don't necessarily understand that they don't, because questions that people often ask, how much do I need? How much is my credit going to affect this? How much do I need to bring to the table to even think about doing this?
Yeah, and those are all the wrong questions. Because if you got a good deal, nobody cares about your credit, how much money you got, how much experience you have.
Right.
None of that stuff matters. But banks, conventional, traditional banks over the years have taught us, if you don't have good credit, if you don't have stable
income, you're not going to get in the door.
You don't matter.
Yeah.
And in the real estate investment business, that is so far from truth. So we travel around the country and teach people how to do that. And for some people, we give them the opportunity to come out here to the Pacific Northwest right here. This is at the Spokane County Courthouse. And this is me with a smaller group of clients. This is what's called our master level class. This group is called a Lee's Inner Circle. So when you come to a Lee's Inner Circle, I'm going to take you down to the foreclosure auction and you're going to watch me bid live and acquire assets. So
it's hands-on.
Yeah.
I'm noticing the past two pictures, they're not exactly in some kind of hotel ballroom.
No.
Okay. They're in the field. You're at a courthouse here at an auction.
Yep.
So is this what people can expect, whether it be the funding tour or the advanced levels? This is what people can expect to do when they get into one of our
so the
programs.
master levels, the Lee's Inner Circle trainings,
Okay.
and certainly these come with a higher ticket price. But the people that are coming to these trainings, you saw in this photo, we got 120 people.
Right.
Price of admission, $2,500.
Right.
This photo, 10 people, price of admission, $20,000. But the difference is, as I'm looking at this photo, every single person, as I'm looking at this list, has bought and sold real estate and made money. This guy right here, his first deal, he made $128,000 profit, first deal.
So it pays for itself.
More than pays for itself.
So it pays for itself.
Yeah. So, of course, now we are almost 100 employees strong. So this is our Coeur d'Alene office, and this is our now team. This is the team
Coeur d'Alene,
currently
Idaho, for those of you who don't know or
And-
haven't been to the Pacific
And
Northwest.
also, you got to pay attention to the floating golf green.
Yes.
This is the signature hole. If you are a golfer, this is the top 5 rated golf course in the nation.
It is beautiful.
And it's because of this hole right here. It's a par 3, and you take a little putter out there called the putter to put your ball in there. But this is our team. And these guys behind us in orange, these are not convicts on work release.
It's not the chain gang.
These are actually employees of ours. These guys are on our fix and flip division. So in addition to the seminar company, the private money business, the
Right.
servicing company, and everything else that we do, we are also a full-time, full-service investment company. You can see over here my real estate sign. I'm a full-service broker with Keller Williams. I'm a licensed bonded contractor. And we are actively buying, fixing, and flipping houses. We are now one of the largest flipping operations in the Pacific Northwest.
Wow. Okay, so let's break it down to like current day here. What what's a typical week like for you? I mean, it sounds like you got your hands in a lot of cookie jars, but obviously you're doing well. Your clients are doing well. Real estate market is thriving, although, I'm sure in recent days people have heard it's undergoing a correction, or some people call it, some people hit the panic button, some people don't. Explain that away.
The iterations of being an entrepreneur change at every level. And I don't even remember what book it was I was reading, but it talked about the tiers of growth. And that first holy grail that everyone that starts a business wants to hit is that $1 million mark.
The killer app, yeah.
And the $1 million is by far the hardest, okay? Because you're literally going from 0 to $1 million.
Right.
The easy thing about the $1 million, though, is you don't have to have a lot of infrastructure. You don't have to have a lot of protocol. You don't have to have a lot of management. And so you can really be a terrible manager, a terrible people person,
right,
and you can easily get to $1 million, right? Once you get to $1 million now, the next iteration is that $5 million mark. Now, to go from $1 million to $5 million, now you need infrastructure, you need offices, you need protocol, you need SOPs.
You need spokes in the wheel. Yeah.
You got to have all this stuff. And so to go from $1 million to $5 million, now you've kind of find yourself in the throes of managing people, right, and interviewing and HR issues, and it's just it's brain damage.
You got to be a CEO.
$1 million to $5 million is really difficult because your organization's not big enough to thrive without you, but it's too big to thrive just with you.
Right.
So you got to have the right people, the right team.
You need help.
Yeah, you got to have help. So to now go from 5 to 10 million, now you got to begin to grow that infrastructure out. Now the next iteration is from 10 to 25 million.
Okay.
10 to 25 million is
1 to 5 to 10 to 25.
Yeah, and now we're in this process of I'm removing myself from the daily operations of the organization, and I'm relegating myself to the rule of CEOs. So I'm going to share this with you. This is what I wake up to on my phone every morning. It's right in my calendar. It appears every morning at 3 a.m., and it says this. I'm going to have you read it, JT, just so you can, right there at the top. What's that say?
Your job as CEO is to build the team, not build a product. It's the responsibility of the team to build the product.
Okay. So what that means to me, I wake up this every morning, I come into this office every day saying, who's my next star quarterback? Do I need a quarterback? Do I need a linebacker? Do I need a kicker? What do I need?
What player are you going to make, and what player are you going to use?
So I'm looking from a 30,000 foot view of all of the operations of the organization going, where are we weak? Where do we need strength? We can achieve strength either through management, through training, or we can hire, recruit, and bring in strength from new talent.
Right.
And so I'm always looking for talent, and I want everyone within our organization looking for talent.
Right.
To the point where you're at the grocery store and your bag boy, who I have an affinity for, is doing an amazing job. Bring them in. If we hire them and they stick around for 90 days, I'll pay you $500 just for bringing them in. And that's the degree that we go to make sure we're getting the best and the brightest people. And it's not degrees and background and pedigree that makes you great. It's drive, it's motivation, it's passion. That's what separates the strong players from the mediocre ones.
Now you've got your seeing on your phone. You've got your words to start your day with. Obviously, you've read a lot of books.
Yep.
All right. So I hear you do like a book of the month club. You preach it to your employees, get it to the clients. Why these books? What do you really take away by having so many books and having this club and featuring something monthly?
Yeah. I heard an adage years ago, and that is this: poor people have big TVs, rich people have big libraries. And I want to encourage education.
That's real good.
I want to encourage our staff, every one of them, to improve. I want bonuses and increase to come as a result of increasing your value to the organization, not because you've warmed a chair longer than everybody else. Right. And we have this old world system in corporate America that says the longer I'm here, the more I should make.
Right.
And that's not correct at all.
No.
The more value you bring, the more you should make. Right. What are your efforts doing that
you
are
going to evolve? You have to continuously evolve.
Yeah. So we do the book club to encourage that. So some months I will assign a book, other months I'll do reader's choice, as long as the book you're reading in some way, shape, or form ties to your role here, what you do, how it's going to make you a better employee, and bring more value to our clients.
Sharpen
and our
your
customers.
tool set.
Yep,
right.
You got it.
Right. All right. So this is the question everybody's probably wanting to know, what do you do when you're not working? And do you not work?
Do you want my version of the answer or Jaclyn's version
I could
of the
probably get I could probably get Jaclyn's, or Jaclyn, if you're watching, I'm coming for you next.
answer? You know, sadly,
Yeah.
I have been accused of being a workaholic, but I'm of the opinion that when you love something, you're a hobbyist,
Right.
not a workaholic. So I work all the time because I like to work. I think it's fun. Not only do we get to help people, we get to change lives. We get to take
Right.
ugly properties and make them look brand new. We get to take a house that nobody would step foot in and make it something that's desirable that everybody wants to
You're in a
have.
business where everybody makes out.
I love it.
Right.
So to me, I'm always working, but I'm a hobbyist, not a workaholic. But really, to answer your question though, JT, I like to ski. We've got river property. I like to go hang out on the river. And you know, I'm a pretty normal guy. I'm a pretty low key guy. I'm pretty simple. I don't live an extravagant lifestyle. I drive a Ford, as do you, which makes me like you even more.
He tuned me into the Ford. What can I tell you? It sounds so cliche to ask you, why do you do it? Why do you do it all? Like, what took you from, hey, I'm going to make money from myself, my family? You know, you could easily kind of take all your fortune and go live in the hills somewhere and just keep it all to yourself. Why is it that you feel that you need to help others? Why do you do it?
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Now,
Not a lot of people are going to buy that. They're going to be like, okay, really? What's the catch?
It's certainly not without its stresses.
Sure.
You know, when you're dealing with thousands of people nationwide and you are dealing with tens of millions of dollars of other people's money, and you're dealing with inflation and deflation and market cycles and ups and downs, and constantly kind of managing the chaos, it can get stressful. It can get frustrating. Years ago, back in 2009, I remember this very distinctly because the market was crashed. 95% of my wealth was gone, literally gone. And I remember thinking to myself, Lee, you know, you from 96 to present, you know, 9, you've been focused on building wealth only, and that's it.
Right.
And you know, I've been a believer my entire life, born again Christian when I'm 6,
Okay.
Grew up in church. And I realized in 9 that I had not been honoring God in my business. So in 2009, my wife and I started a ministry called He's the Solution Ministries, and we now hold church services at all of our events nationwide. And in 2009, we were doing about 4 events a year. So
Okay.
4 church services a year
Right.
with people who would never go to church otherwise.
Right.
You know, and we have people that have literally come to our services, and they'll come up to me after and go, I haven't been to church in 30 years. Thank you.
So they stay for it.
They stay for it. And now fast forward 10 years, and now we'll do over 100 events around the country this year. We'll see tens of thousands of people
Right.
that we now get to reach with the gospel of Jesus Christ. So what motivates me now is it's fun.
Okay.
Not because we're making money hand over fist, although that's a nice subset.
Sure.
But we have reach into people that we would not get otherwise without shrouding it in get rich. You know, people will come to a 3-day seminar about getting wealthy in real estate
Right.
long before they'll ever go to a 3-day church conference.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So we are blessed in that through Cogo Capital, through Secured Investment Corp, through the Lee Arnold system, and the seminars that we put on across the country, we are spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that is the goal. That's the mission. And that's why I wear this lapel pin that says, I'm bold for Jesus.
Note that it matches his tie.
And for
Very
people that come
nicely.
to our events, you know, we have people sing in the choir. If they sing in the choir, we give them a pen. And that's really what drives me now, is getting the message and the love of Jesus Christ out to the masses. And that's really what gets me up every morning.
Sense of higher purpose or something
Absolutely.
like that. Do you find it that draws a different crowd in? Do you feel that it draws more people in? Do you feel that people are curious, or forgive me, there are some people going to say, hey, I really want to learn money through this guy, but yeah, I don't know about the Bible thing, you know?
Yeah.
So what
I think an email that I received several years ago summarized it perfectly. And this gentleman sent me an email and said, Lee, I respect you and I appreciate everything you have to say about real estate, but please keep religion out of it.
Right.
And that's the day and age we live in. It's political
Separation of
correctness.
church and state, right.
You can't do that.
Right. Why?
And if we are a Fortune 500 publicly traded, stock-held company,
Right.
we probably couldn't do it. But because we're a private company that my wife and I started, we can pretty much do whatever we want. And we're going to preach Christ. So I really don't care if people are offended by it.
Right.
There's 29 other gurus. Go find one.
Yeah.
But if you come to a Lee Arnold event
Right.
on Sunday morning, we're having church.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. You ever see yourself hanging it up? Will you retire? And at what point? At what point are you going to sit there and go, you know what? I've done my service. I've made my wealth. I have a wonderful family. At what point do you sit there seeing yourself, I'm going to go fishing for the rest of my life?
I'm not even 50 yet, So the thought of wrapping it up and retiring.
Right.
And if you really break down the word retire, why would I want to be tired all over again? And statistically, men who retire,
You get that? All right.
Men who retire will be dead in 3 years. That's the statistical average. So
That's
your
interesting.
life
I never thought about
expectancy
that.
post-retirement is 3 years. And the reason that's true, if you're not working, what are you doing to engage yourself, to be out serving other people?
Right.
And I love the retired guys at my church that, they serve down at the food bank and they go and they serve food to the homeless and they're just so involved in what's going on.
Right.
And I think that Bill Gates has created an excellent role model for everybody to follow, where he made his fortune and
Right.
he's now spending his golden years, if you will,
Philanthropy and
giving it all away.
Yeah.
And I think that's a brilliant model. So retirement for me isn't retirement at all. It's transition, where I pivot from wealth creation to wealth distribution. So I'm going to spend the next 10 years wealth creation.
Pay it forward.
And I'm going to get as many people as I can, as rich as we can. And then I'll spend the rest of my life giving everybody else's money away, mine included.
That's a pretty good purpose.
So I've been asked, Lee, what's your goal? I want to make billions of dollars. And by the time I die, give it all away. So my kids are getting nothing. Just
Hope
so
you
they
guys
know
aren't
that.
watching. I'm sorry. Yeah. With that, we're going to wrap up this episode. We hope you guys will join us next time. We're actually going to dive into one of the monikers here at Secured Investment Corp, which is the circle of wealth. This is a process that you will all learn once you get into one of our programs and systems. We hope you tune in next time. This is the CogoCast, the Real Estate Investors Podcast. I'm JT DeSocio. We hope you join us.